Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Mariana and you're watching Lucifer's Library. Yes, you saw it right. I'm doing yet another unhaul. If you take a look behind me, you see very cluttered bookshelves. They're not cluttered because I bought new books and I have no space. They're cluttered because I basically sorted them out already. The last time I did a unhaul, I mainly went through my TBR, but now it's time for me to go through my already read books because I realized that I was being a little too nice last time. There are a lot of books that I don't need to keep, and I know I have more than enough space. I have 7 bookshelves that I could keep books on, but these books do not bring me any joy. I'm gonna take you through my thought process. So here we have The Bridge Kingdom. I'm keeping this. We also have Opposition. I'm also keeping the entire Lux series. My best friend has the first book that she still needs to give to me. I'm also keeping The Rain and the Storm. I reread these two this year. They weren't the best thing I've ever read, but you know, I am still going to keep them because I'm not ready to let go. Summoner, it is a signed book. I'm still keeping. A Discovery of Witches and Shadow of Night, I reread this year again and loved them just as much as I did the first time. I'm not thrilled about these editions. I would love to have like matching editions, but this one is like smaller, and yeah, I'm not thrilled, but I'm keeping them because I don't want to part with them. We have Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. The first time I actually read any Taylor Jenkins Reid book, and also it is the first book, like historical fiction, mystery kind of book that I actually read in a long time and enjoyed, so I'm keeping this. I love Trisha Levenseller's books, but The Shadows Between Us so far was my least favorite. However, it is the only one I own and it was a gift, so I am keeping it. It is also very beautiful, so I'm not parting with this one yet. And I'm also keeping hush hush, I had many projects, many plans to reread The Mortal Instruments and For All the Vices, The Storm, The Rain, Ruby Red, but I've never said that I want to reread these books. And you know what? I might in the future, because looking at it now, I think I might, but I know I'm not gonna enjoy them. But I love angel books and I love having angel books on my shelf, so I'm keeping this. The nostalgia is strong and the devil works hard to convince me to keep these books. I'm also keeping Twilight. Am I ever gonna read them? No, but they're in Slovenian and I don't know, I like to think that I might read books in Slovenian at some point, even though I read them in 8th grade. So I don't know, the nostalgia is just there. And we are done with one shelf. Alright, 3 recent buys. Honeymooners was a second-hand buy and I rated it 3 stars. Didn't really love it. Flat Share, didn't really love it, 3 stars. And The Hating Game, didn't really love it, 3 stars. We also have the Switch. I think I rated it about 4 stars. And because I have the Switch and enjoyed the Switch, I'm not sure about the Flat Share. Listen, these books are very cute on my shelves and they're gonna stay for a while just because they're very recent reads and recent buys. So I'm gonna keep them just for the sake of cuteness. Do I love all of them? No, I just enjoyed the Switch and I like the Hating Game movie, but I'm keeping them because I'm not yet sick of them. I'm also keeping Illuminae because this was also a gifted book. I am keeping my own 2 books because you cannot buy them anymore and they're really like they're old versions. Nostalgia is real. We have Percy Jackson, keeping this, and I'm also keeping the box set of the Percy Jackson books. What I read on, I am on book 3 of Heroes of Olympus. I'm not sure if I'll ever continue with the series or with Percy Jackson at this point. I am over it. But I'm gonna keep this and the Greek Gods, and my sister has Heroes of Olympus and the rest of the books. Red Queen, keeping this one. Will probably read the rest of the series. If I don't, I will just unhaul it at a later date. I'm also keeping Throne of Glass, and I'm also keeping A Court of Thorns and Roses. Gaze of Deception and Heart of Betrayal are also staying. I am also hoping to get The Beauty of Darkness soon. The Extrovert, absolutely adore that book. I am keeping it, and I'm keeping The Cruel Prince. You'll see what I'm actually giving up. This is an actual unhaul. But then down here we have The Hunger Games, which I'm keeping, and I'm not entirely sure about Ruby Red anymore because I did reread the first and the second book, and while these books are very fun to have and it's nice to like have them and reminisce, I ruined it for myself when I went to reread, because every time I looked back at these books, I just had that nostalgic feeling, and I remember the first time I read them, but now all I remember is the second time I read them, and it's not as fun. I love them still, however I just cannot pick up the third book. So this could potentially be in a future unhaul, but for now it can stay. Alright, we can focus on these shelves now. Wicked Fox was a gifted book. I'm not going to continue on. I think this was a 3-star read just because of the overall mindset I was in at the time. I just wasn't feeling it, but I want to keep this book, so I'm keeping it. So we have our first unhaul, which is the Lunar Chronicles. I loved these books the first time I read them, and then I didn't finish Winter last year. I only finished the first 3 books, and I had Winter on my TBR. I started it and I kind of DNF'd because my overall interest was not there anymore, so I'm just gonna move on. I am really over the Mortal Instruments, the Infernal Devices. I'm really over Shadowhunters and Cassandra Clare, and I should unhaul these books. I really should. However, for now they can stay for now because there's only so many books I can part with in one day. Okay, we have Unearthly, Hollowed, and Boundless by Cynthia Hand. I absolutely love angel books. Like I said, I used to go through a phase where I only read about the Nephilim, Hush Hush, these books, you know, the Mortal Instruments. We have, what was it? Oh, Sweet Evil, all of these books with bad boys. These books have a love triangle, and the person our main character ends up with is just someone that I don't like, and I was so disappointed, but the world in itself is so incredible. Like, I love the idea of half angels and quarter angels and stuff like that. It's just so interesting to me. So I'm gonna keep it for now, keep them, even though I don't have matching covers. Deal with the Elf King was also a recent buy. I think I rated it 5 stars as well, so this stays, as well as Kiss the Fae. I don't know how much I rated this one, but I'm really looking forward to the second book. Fangirl, I really liked it when I read it. Do I remember anything about it? Even though it was last year, no, I don't. I only remember that my parrot died around the time that I read this book, because my parrot was sick and I was sitting by his cage and I was reading this book and just watching him as well. I don't have any particular attachment to it except that it is a hardcover, and hardcover books are really difficult to detach from. It would really look cool with my contemporary books, and I'm really hoping to extend my contemporary shelf. Considering that this was, I think, a 4 or 5 star read, I'm gonna keep it. I don't have any other Rainbow Rowell books because I gave them all away. I read Eleanor and Park, didn't like it, and then I gave the rest to my sister. I'm also keeping Crazy Rich Asians. I'm not sold about the premise of the second book because I did read the premise yesterday or a few days ago, and I'm not sure if it's something that I would like, but I'm waiting for the movie, and when the movie comes out, I'm going to probably buy the movie edition, because that's the only reason why I haven't continued with the series as well, like bought the rest of the series, is because I'm waiting for movie editions. I just absolutely love them. They are so cute together, and I want to have the movie editions, so I'm keeping this book, obviously. This is one of my favorite contemporary books. I rated 5 stars. Okay, we have the After series by Anna Todd. This was a gift, very, very kind gift. I hated this book. I'll never read this on, but I love the movie editions and I love the movies. For some reason, the movies are just my guilty pleasure, so I'm definitely keeping these. We have Cursed by Jennifer Armentrout. Now, there is a lot to talk about when it comes to Jennifer Armentrout. I have a lot of books by her. She used to be my favorite author. Obviously, we have the Lux series, we have the Covenant series, which is not here right now, but I'm definitely keeping that one. And we have Cursed by JLA, and this one I really liked. However, it wasn't expanded enough. It felt like it was supposed to be a series, but it ended up being one book. So I'm going to be giving this to my sister because it was a little bit of a disappointment. Yeah, I'm ready to part with this. We also have Elixir and Demon. These are the two novellas from Half-Blood. However, they are all both included in the books, so these can go, I think. A Promise of Fire was also a recent buy, and by recent buys I actually mean last year, because I haven't bought books in a long time, and I've just been reading and going through my TBR. I was pleasantly surprised by this book. I genuinely enjoyed it. It was, I think, a 4 or 5 star read. It has Greek mythology as well. However, do I remember anything about this now? No. So I'm not gonna continue with the rest of the trilogy. I'm not really in a trilogy or in a series mood right now, so I'm going to keep this one just because I'm not sick of it yet. It's not been on my shelf for the longest, so I'm gonna be keeping it and probably never continue or buy the next books. Laura and Oliver. So here we have Before I Fall. I'm definitely keeping this book. I absolutely love this book. However, we have Delirium, Pandemonium, and Requiem. None of these books, none of these covers go together. I'm going to be giving these away. Am I ever gonna read them? No. So my sister hasn't read them yet, so I think she's gonna keep them. The covers aren't matching. They don't really interest me in picking them up and rereading them. They just repel me, to be honest. But I absolutely loved these books when I read them in, 2012, on the new year of 2013. It was around the time when I read Legend by Marie Lu as well. So these just had like a specific nostalgic feeling to them, but I'm, again, ready to let go. I could say the same for Divergent, Insurgent, and The Legion. However, these covers, do you see the covers? I'll never reread them, but I will be keeping them for now. I absolutely hated Allegiant. Divergent and Insurgent I loved, but this book I hated. Okay, not to spoil my book haul, but I did add 2 books to my Morgan Matson collection. And I'm very excited for them to come, because Morgan Matson's books, they never disappoint. I also have Amy and Roger's Epic Detour, but it's with my friend who I've let, you know, borrow a lot of books from me. Since You've Been Gone, Second Chance Summer, absolutely love these. So yeah, I bought more summer books. This is what I'm going to be aiming for as well with my contemporaries summer reads, just set in summer as well. Soundless I am keeping. I read in Carson last year when my dog was sick. I think it was in November or in October, and we were doing puzzles and also listening to the audiobook. So I'm keeping this one because I want to read book 2. Will I continue and buy the rest of the second book, because this is a duology? No. You know what? I'm gonna give this to my sister. I'm not gonna continue. I feel very nostalgic when I think of this cover because it reminds me of my dog, but I'm going to say goodbye. Inferno by Lindsay Hall. I didn't love this one. It is a Hades and Persephone retelling, I think. Or maybe I rated it 4 stars. I don't remember much. Still gonna keep this because it's a beautiful cover. Snowy Caches. It was a 5-star read, my very first 5-star read of the year. Very pleasantly surprised. Loved it. I didn't think I would like it as much. However, I picked up the second book and I just felt this block. I couldn't continue. I wasn't interested. So I'm just keeping it for now because it was a 5-star read. Chronicles of Narnia, the whole edition. This was my sister's gift to me, so I'm keeping this. Okay, we have the Iron Face series, the Iron King, Iron Queen, Iron Daughter by Julie Kagawa, and we also have the Iron Knight, which I unhauled. It's actually not in my room, it's just outside on the unhaul, giant unhaul pile. Since I'm not keeping the entire series, there is no reason for me to keep these 3 as well. I didn't like the Iron Knight that much. I loved the first 3 books, but I just lost my magic for them, so I'm just ready to give them to somebody else. I'm keeping The Host because I have a Slovenian edition if I'm ever gonna read it in Slovenian. But basically, again, I read these books, reread them when my dog was sick, and this was our audiobook puzzle time together. He was sleeping, he was on high medication and just like really not doing well, and we had to eventually we knew that we were gonna have to put him down, and we did on November 2nd. And these books just remind me of that time now, So I'm definitely, if I'm not keeping Incarceron, I'm keeping these. Pride and Prejudice, probably the only classic I have on my shelves right now. I don't know where the Christmas Carol went, but I'm keeping it. Get You the Moon, this was written also by my friend and it is signed, and I am definitely keeping it. It's not going anywhere. I love the cover and I think it just adds a little spice to my bookshelf. Sweet Evil. Let's talk about these books because they are about 7 deadly sins, but they're also tormenting me. Then we have Sweet Peril, Sweet Reckoning, and Sweet Temptation. I absolutely loved these books when they came out. Like, I read only the first two, but I was in my hush hush era when I was reading anything about angels and, you know, the Lux series where everything was about bad boys. Then For All the Vices, William Herondale, like the Mortal Instruments, Jace Herondale, only bad boys, okay? And Kaiden Rowe, he was my bae. I loved him. He was one of my first fictional crushes. From Damon Black to Kaiden Rowe to Patch Cipriano and William Herondale. These were my 4 husbands back in the day when I was a teenager. But you know what? I read these 2. I'm never going to reread them. Will I ever finish this series? Probably not. So I should give them away. However, I do have an angel thing. Yeah, I'm gonna do the thing and I'm gonna part with these books. And if I'm parting with these, I'm gonna do another thing and I'm gonna say goodbye to the Mortal Instruments. Because I'm just ready to say bye-bye for now. Okay, I'm not gonna unhaul them. I'm just gonna put them on a different shelf away from my view. So that maybe if I ever want to read them, I can still pick them up. Because I have like 7 shelves. So there is no point in me unhauling something if I'm not fully 100% on it. And also, like, Sweet Evil also goes away. Hex Hall. These books freaking broke me. Will I ever read them again? No, I don't think so. But look at the font. The font is so big. Do you know, you know what, we're doing a reading log where I read these books again, and I know I'm gonna cry, I know they're gonna break me again, but I'm gonna decide whether or not to keep them based on that vlog. I'm editing this vlog and I have to tell you that I read 10 pages of this book and I got immediately transported back in time to when I was reading these books, and let me tell you, I do not want to repeat that experience. I was crushed. But also, like, the mean girl vibe setting that was in these books, I don't want to repeat that. I really don't want to have a repeat of high school experience. I don't want to relive this. So, listen, I tried, but I gave up very quickly. At this point, I don't care about these books. I completely forget they're on my shelves. But when I read them, I was absolutely obsessed. The Shadowhunter Codex, this is completely pointless. It's going. Court of Frost and Starlight is staying, again completely pointless, but I have the rest of the series, so it's gonna stay. We have my Wattpad book collection, and Textrovert also goes on here, as well as like After, and a lot of them are signed. A lot of them are also with my sister. I'm gonna decide which ones I want to keep. But I also want to share them with my sister because my sister, some of them are also signed to my sister, and we kind of share the same collection together. But she was kind enough at the time when we were like dividing books to say, oh, you can keep these because I have so many more books. So right now I'm just, I want to share them just because I want her to read them. And yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do or where I'm gonna put them. Alright, now we hit the bookshelf where I actually have more unhaul books. Truly Devious, unhauled it recently, decided I'm not gonna keep it. I did try a few more chapters, didn't really like it. These are going back to my sister. They are my sister's books. White Hot Kiss, liked. Wrath, everything else was a disaster. I hate this world. I hate the characters. I hate our character, our Layla's family and where she was raised. I hate how she never stands up for herself and how she keeps excusing Zane's actions just because she has a crush on him, and he never stands up for her either. And so this book is about Zane. Like, this spin-off series is about Zane. I'm never gonna continue. I hate him. At this point, I'm not interested in JLA's books other than From Blood and Ash. That's the only book I'm gonna try, but I'm ready to part with these. And finally, I'm getting rid of Vampire Academy. These are in no order because I just messed them up. But Vampire Academy can go. Also, you know what else can go? Bloodlines. I'm never going to finish this series. I am 3 books away from finishing it. And as for Vampire Academy, I'm never gonna reread it. I love these books when I read them, but the ending just ruined everything for me. It wasn't, the last book wasn't as good as the rest of the books. Like book 3, I think that was the book that was my favorite. But for these, I'm just not interested. I hate the covers. I don't want them on my shelves. So they can go. So we have these 2 big stacks that are unhauls, and this one is of the books that are going away. This series is going away, Sweet Evil, and the Mortal Instruments are being placed somewhere else. Basically what it is I just can't have them in my sight. Otherwise I'm gonna want to unhaul them. But I know that these were still very dear to me when I was a kid, when I was growing up. I don't want to make a decision that I would later come to regret. I have here 30 books. Not counting A Curse so Dark and Lonely, which I should, it would be 31 with that book. With the separate shelves, it would be, I got rid of 40 books from my shelves, my main shelves. Hi, I just realized that I forgot to pull these 2 off my shelves. So whatever number I said, just add 2 books to that. I think that is a good progress. I'm very, very happy with that. My shelves look so much emptier. They look so empty, but I'm feeling really good about this unhaul. I am hoping it will give me the urge to buy more books. I would spend all my money right now if I had books I wanted to buy. But I'm not spending 20 euros on a book. I'm not. I'm simply not spending 20 euros on a paperback. My maximum right now is 12 euros on a paperback. So if The Love Hypothesis, I think it was like 15 when I saw it, and I was like, nope, I'm gonna wait when it becomes cheaper. Even though that is one book that I want to keep because I already read it. Also, I'm doing that. From now on, when I'm gonna buy a book, I really want to be sure I want it. So I am going to probably read more books first and then make a book haul that way when I just know that I want to have these books, as opposed to just buying a lot of books for the sake of buying them and then realizing I hated them. I'm gonna be smarter with my choices from now on, and I'm also going to invest in more authors that I trust, even though, as you probably noticed, JLA and I have right now a rocky relationship. I hope From Blood and Ash can change that, but her previous like YA books are no longer for me. This, I think, is gonna be the last unhaul I do for a while, so I hope it got your blood kicking and screaming. I hope it got your blood flowing and it got you happy. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so sorry, this was a lot of rambling from me, but I am feeling so much better now, and I hope you have a lovely, lovely day. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. I would really appreciate it. But again, I hope you have a lovely, lovely day and that something good happens to you. Okay, bye!